Hello, my friends. It's me, Carrie. I hope you're having a great Saturday or whatever time of day it is where you are. Saturday evening, morning. I think in some parts of the world it might already be Sunday evening, but I honestly don't know time zones. I'm not the sharpest knife in that regard. But anyway, this is a video that was requested. I mentioned, sorry, got to play with little Groot here, get him in the front. This was a video that I had just casually mentioned the idea of shooting, and someone said, yes, please shoot that. So I hope that this will be something that's fun and different and really informative to you. I am really, really sad because I have not been to Disney World since the very beginning of 2013. And I know, boo-hoo, cry me a river, Carrie. Some people have never been to Disney World. I'm not trying to get sympathy, believe me. I'm just saying I miss it with all my heart. I went to Disney several times when I was a child. My grandfather lived in Sarasota, Florida. I, as you may know, am a Long Islander, so I lived in New York, and I did for most of my life. So I probably went to Disney, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 times before I ended up going with my husband on a trip in 2002. Then subsequently 2 years later when we had our honeymoon there in 2004. And then ultimately later in 2004 we ended up moving to Florida to a city called Melbourne, which is about an hour outside of that part of Orlando where Disney is located. And my mother was very, very kind and very, very generous. And for 4 years of the 8 we lived in Florida, for Christmas, she would buy us Disney annual passes. We got them deeply discounted because we bought them through AAA. That's tip number 1. Go to AAA. You can definitely get Disney passes at a discount. And because we were Florida residents, we used our AAA to buy them. My mom just literally reimbursed us the cash. So that's a really good way to save on Disney tickets. I believe you can even buy just one-day tickets that way, but I'm not absolutely certain. And I just want to put out there a little caveat. I have not been to Disney since 2013. Some of these things may have changed within the park or policies. This is just the tips that I used when I was going to Disney World. Some of them are completely free. Some of them are just kind of like insider tips that most people might not necessarily know about or tell you about. And these are just the ones off the top of my head right now. I may do another video like this later when I think of more. But first and foremost, the one that pops into my mind is eating on a budget at Disney. Obviously, you can bring snacks and water, and that's very advisable to do. Typically, I would bring some sort of candy with me, because I know I would end up walking into the candy store at Disney and end up craving something that costs like $5 that I could get at the Dollar Tree beforehand. So I would typically bring candy and bring bottled water. And if you're really not a super huge fan of water, go and get like the Crystal Light drink packets or any of the little packets you can buy to add to a water bottle. That way you're not buying sodas and stuff all day long. It's probably a little more hydrating for you than soda, and it's obviously more affordable. So that is definitely a tip that I would have. Also, regarding water bottles, there are several places in Disney World where there is self-serve refills on soft drinks. I've never specifically asked about this, so it's possible that they may not love the idea, but I've done it many, many times and no one has ever questioned me on it. Take your water bottle. If you don't want to fill it at a fountain, because sometimes the water is not necessarily the coldest or the freshest, go to the refill soda fountain. Be sure to press the water button. Don't steal soda, but go to the water button and you can refill your water bottle and get it icy, icy cold and really fresh and delicious because it's obviously filtered from the fountain. I never had anyone question me. I never had a cast member say you're not allowed to do that. So I've done it many, many, many times, and that's just a little insider tip as well. They don't have self-serve sodas everywhere, but they do at every restaurant that you go up to with walk-up service. They will never object if you say, I have a glass of ice water with my meal, and they will give it to you. And as of 2013, at least, they didn't even charge you for the cup. That way you're getting nice, fresh, icy cold water and not necessarily the stuff in the fountains that doesn't always taste the best, because staying hydrated in Disney is crucial. Even if you go during the cool, quote-unquote, times of the year in Florida, which basically consists of about 3 weeks in like December and January, it really doesn't get that cold. At least it didn't when I lived there. You really, really, really want to stay hydrated. Another tip, I know of several restaurants in different parts of the parks. One in particular is Pecos Bill's. I think it was just Pecos Bill's Tall Tales Cafe in the Magic Kingdom. There was in the American Pavilion in Epcot. There are several others. I can't think of them right now. And again, this may have changed since I was there last. That have what I call, because I used to go to Roy Rogers. If you know Roy Rogers restaurants, I don't know if they were national. They're very hard to come by now. There's like one in New York City and no others in the state of New York anymore, I don't think. But they had what they called the Fixins Bar. And the Fixins Bar was self-serve tomatoes, lettuce, pickles. Sometimes you get onions. And you know, in Pecos Bill's Cafe, they have even mushrooms, and I think they had cooked onions as well. I know cooked isn't the proper term, but you know, the hot ones. I know you can put them on your burger, but if you ask for an extra little cardboard tray like that they serve you your food in, my husband and I made it a makeshift salad bar. If you're eating on a budget, it's a really healthy way to supplement your meal that costs you literally nothing. You can mix up your own salad dressings with ketchup and mayonnaise. Sometimes they'll have honey mustard sauce. It's a good way to just bulk up your meal that doesn't cost you a penny, and it's healthy. If you're eating a burger and fries, which you do often in Disney, at least then you're getting a little extra vegetables into your meal. So that's another tip that I have. If there are places with Fixins bars, make yourself a little salad to go with your meal. I've never asked a Disney cast member, is that technically allowed? But I don't consider it stealing food, because you could just as easily stack on your burger this high and they're not going to question that. You're just putting it in a separate receptacle. So that's another tip. Definitely do the salad bar, quote unquote salad bar, if you want to and you like veggies and you want to eat a little healthier and on the cheap at Disney. And then this is a really specific tip that I'll probably regret giving away, because now everybody that watches will do this, although I don't have that huge of an audience and it's not like you're all going to be at Disney World at the same time. But there is a restaurant in the Magic Kingdom called the Plaza. I highly, highly, highly recommend their Reuben and the broccoli slaw. Oh, delish. And if you go to the Plaza, I would say try to go maybe a half hour or less before the big fireworks show at the end of the night. Ask for a table by the window. If you can manage to get that, you get the most killer view. You actually get seats, because the park gets so insanely crazy by the Cinderella Castle when it's time for fireworks. So you're standing and you're in a massive crowd, and you may not even necessarily see that well. If you can get that window seat, there are several, you have the most incredible views of the fireworks show, and you can actually be dining and enjoying your meal while you watch the fireworks. Definitely keep that in mind at the Plaza. I'm trying to think of some of my other tips. They're all going out of my head right now. Oh, buttons, buttons, buttons. Who's got the button? That was a little Willy Wonka joke for those of you who didn't get it, which is probably most of you. But anyway, buttons. Whatever you are celebrating at Disney, it literally doesn't matter what it is. Be sure to visit guest services and tell them that you are celebrating it, because they hand out, unfortunately I don't have any on me right now, I don't know where mine are, but I have a vast collection. They hand out buttons about this big, and they have them for just about everything. And if they don't have it for your events, they will give you just one that says, I'm celebrating. Tell them it's your first time at Disney, it's somebody's birthday, you're celebrating an anniversary, you just got your driver's license, you just graduated high school, whatever it is, let them know, because they will give not only you, the person, like if it's your birthday, they will give you a wonderful souvenir Disney button that says, it's my birthday, and they write your name on it, and they usually dot the little eyes with Mickey heads, and it's just a special fun thing to wear. And they will even give the people in your party, I'm celebrating with, I'm celebrating Susie's birthday. And you all get to wear them. It's a fun, completely free souvenir to bring home. And I can't make any promises on this one, but when my husband and I got them to celebrate our honeymoon, we actually did go to a restaurant and somebody gave us a free brownie. And you will definitely get lots of congratulations throughout the day from other cast members, from other visitors at the park. That just makes you feel like $1,000,000. So it's really, really fun to do. And it doesn't matter what you're celebrating. I mean, you could just say, I'm celebrating that, I'm celebrating that I got my last chemo and I'm, cancer free. I'm celebrating that, you know, I don't know, just really anything that you want to celebrate. They want to celebrate it with you, and they want to just build it up and make your day as special as they possibly can. There are signs in Disney that my husband and I have seen basically where it says never say no to a guest. I mean, obviously, if your request is unreasonable, they will. But if you're requesting something reasonable, like a glass of ice water at a restaurant, they're not going to say no to you because that's their job. Their job is to make your experience magical. And if you can save a little money here and there, especially if you're going on a tight budget like my husband and I usually were, they're more than happy to make you happy. This goes back to my initial comment about the candy. Definitely, definitely, definitely make a trip to the Dollar Tree if you possibly can, or some other inexpensive store like that before you go on your trip. Even if you do it home and you bring this stuff with you before you travel to Florida, bring it on the plane or in the car or whatever, because these are some of the things you're definitely going to want to buy that you will save a ton on if you buy them at the dollar store. Light up bracelets, light up glow sticks, anything that lights up. Because whether you're a kid or you're a kid at heart like me, you're going to get there and you're going to see these people in these wonderful glow necklaces with Mickey's head or whatever, and they're going to cost you like $10, $15, $20. Get yourself a bunch. Buy $10 worth of glow sticks and glow bracelets and glow necklaces. And not only can you doll yourself up in all of those, but it's really, really fun sometimes to go to a parade and be waiting, an hour in advance for it to start. And you see a family with children, and you turn to the mom or the dad and you say, would it be okay if I give your kid a glow stick or a glow bracelet? And most parents are totally cool with that. I always ask the parents first, don't just give stuff to a kid because stranger danger, you don't want to freak anybody out. But I used to love buying extra ones and hand them out to children, and to see them get excited as they crack that little bracelet and put it on and feel like $1,000,000. You don't know that they're on a budget too, and that their kid's not crying on the inside because they really, really want to light up Mickey head, but their mom and dad just can't afford that. It's something fun for you to enjoy. It's something fun for people around you to enjoy. And don't hesitate to give them to the adults too, because don't just think that kids want to have fun like that at Disney. I know I always loved doing that. And sometimes you can make an adult's day completely by just making an offer like that. You may get someone that gives you side eye like, no, I'm 50, I really don't need one. But most people in Disney want to be kids at heart. So share, and you can make somebody's day. Another thing I advise you to buy in advance, because you're going to want one when you get there, whether you're a kid or an adult probably, is an autograph book. Autograph books in Disney are quite expensive. There's nothing wrong with them. They're cool, and you may want one like that. But if you go to the dollar stores, often you can find autograph books. It doesn't necessarily even have to be one with blank pages. It could be one that has lined pages. But they have tons of really cool journal books in the dollar stores, and many do have blank pages. Bring your own. Bring your own pen. I would suggest getting like a couple of Sharpie type pens. And again, you can get those in packs at the Dollar Tree. It may not just be Sharpie brand, but you get yourself some nice pens. You get yourself a notebook or a journal of some kind and get all your Disney autographs that way. And you're not stuck spending a fortune in the park because you go, oh crap, I forgot about that. And now all of my 3 kids want to get autographs. And of course they all want their own books, and $30 later, now they're getting autographs when you could have spent 3 at the Dollar Tree. So that's another good tip. If you want to get other things signed, you can do that too. I loved, one year I went to the Dollar Tree and I just bought a $1 painter's cap. And I don't remember where I got the markers. I don't remember if they were from the Dollar Tree or not. They may very well have been, but you get the ones that are made for fabric. And if you're wearing a cap, you can have the character sign your cap. You can have the character sign a t-shirt. You can make your own souvenirs for next to nothing. Just bring your own supplies. Bring your own painter's cap. Bring your own, like I said, you can get a sun visor. That'll definitely, either of those would be really handy to wear in the park to keep the sun out of your face because it's really, really hot. Get a t-shirt. Some people even get, okay, I have this figurine right here that my husband got in a Loot Crate. And it is a Money World figure that's completely blank. You can sometimes find things like this at the Dollar Tree or inexpensive stores, And you bring some Sharpies and you can have the characters sign that. And you have your very own personalized, unique in all the world Disney souvenir, because you just get it signed in whatever colors you like, by whatever characters you like. They will pretty much sign anything you want them to, other than like body parts, because ew, but I just had to go there because I want to put that caveat out there. You know, don't ask Mickey to like sign your boob or something, because that you just need to not be going to Disney if you're doing that. But make your own souvenirs by doing that. Again, snacks at the Dollar Tree, always a good idea to buy. Little things that are portable and yummy and not necessarily the unhealthiest in the world for you. Get yourself a little bag of goldfish crackers. Get definitely the water bottles, the little powders that can go into the drink water bottles so you can make your own beverage if that's what you like. Because I know a lot of times you're not in the mood for just plain water. Make yourself an iced tea or a Crystal Light, you know, fruit drink or whatever. But the Dollar Tree is your friend. I tell everyone I know, before you go to Disney, buy these things at the Dollar Tree. You will be so happy when you get there, because you're going to save so much money. And other people are probably going to look at you and go, oh my gosh, I wish I'd had the smarts to do that. Well, now thanks to me, you guys have the smarts to do that. So then, even if you're not necessarily on a budget and you want to go, you know, be footloose and fancy free and you can afford to buy whatever you like, that's more money now that you didn't spend on that stuff that you can buy just as nicely for a cheap price at the dollar store, that you can now spend that money on something maybe more extravagant that you wanted to do. Like you take a special backstage tour or whatever, you know, you go to that fancy restaurant that you didn't think you could afford. I'm not going to get into things like fast passes and the dining plan and stuff like that, because everybody knows that stuff that's been to Disney. They will tell you all about that. You can look on the website and everything. That's not like secret insider stuff. This, I feel like, is secret insider stuff that I just learned on my own through experience of going repeatedly to Disney World. Oh, this may be more of a known thing, but when you go to Animal Kingdom, don't overlook the Tree of Life. Literally look at the Tree of Life. Go close to it, walk around. You could literally spend like an hour just checking out the Tree of Life and trying to see how many animals you can find carved in it, because there are, I don't know how many, I'm sure you could look it up, but to my mind there are probably hundreds of different animals carved in there. It's a pretty shady area, so you can cool off a little bit while you do this. You unwind, you just take your time and walk slowly. It's fun for kids, it's fun for adults. Just see how many animals you can identify. You're not on a crazy line. You know, it's not necessarily where a massive crowd is. There's actually little parts of around the Tree of Life where you're in kind of like a little cave, so you're literally out of the sun and can cool off a little bit. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people don't think about that. They do show, I believe they still show the A Bug's Life 4D experience movie in the Tree of Life, but don't overlook just examining the Tree of Life itself. It's really, really a lot of fun. That is all I can think of right now. I'm sure there will be a million more as soon as I turn off the phone, but I can definitely do another updated version of this if you guys are interested in more tips and tricks. Obviously, I'm wearing ears that I bought in the park that I paid more than I should have, but you know, sometimes it's Disney World. You just want what you want, and if you can manage to afford it, get it. Oh, last thing. If you decide you want to do Disney pin trading, I highly, highly, highly recommend starting out with one of their basic starter kits. It typically will come with a lanyard and I believe 4 pins. And if you break it down by the price of those pins based on what the normal pins cost, the pins are less expensive. It's like you're getting the lanyard for free. And they may not be pins you like at all. But the point of pin trading is trading your pins. So it doesn't matter if they're pins of characters that you're not interested in. Sometimes they'll even put some on sale or clearance. And oh, yes, okay, this is another tip too. If you're going to Disney World and you have a car or you're renting a car and you're going to be doing other things and you can hit up a Disney outlet, there are some in Orlando. There probably are some in other cities too. Look for pins there, because a lot of times you'll find them really, really, really on the cheap. Even if you live in a city that has a Disney outlet. I happen to live on Long Island, and about an hour's drive from me is a Tanger Outlet Center. They have a Disney outlet there. And not everything is that cheap, and they don't always have pins. Disney stores used to carry them all the time. They really don't too much anymore, which is sad. But look in the Disney outlets and buy pins there on the cheap. Again, it doesn't matter if it's the ugliest character in the world. As long as it's authentic, genuine Disney product, they will swap that pin out with you for pins that they have. Pin trading is incredibly fun, but it can get super, super expensive. So if you can get pins on the cheap, you can then trade them with any cast member, literally any cast member in the park that's wearing a lanyard with pins on it. You can say, I'd like to trade a pin with you, and you can give them any pin that you have and choose any pin that they have. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Even if you buy them ahead of time, sometimes if you look on Amazon or eBay, you can get pins really inexpensively. It can't hurt to be prepared in advance. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. It doesn't matter if this is a character you can't stand, because once you get to Disney World, you will find an opportunity to trade out that pin. And chances are the pin that you get is going to be of a higher value than the pin that you bought. So if you can get pins on the cheap, I highly recommend doing that. But I wouldn't say buy them anywhere else. Like, I mean, there are like touristy places, you know, in Disney, and in the Disney area in Orlando and Celebration and, you know, the towns and neighboring Disney. But unless it's authentic Disney merchandise, they won't trade with you. So make sure it's a real deal, copyright Disney pin, and it's the, you know, the metal pins. You know, don't get like a plastic button or something and think that they're going to trade with you. They won't. It has to be like for like type of thing. But if you can get pins beforehand or get them on the cheap at Disney, it's highly, highly, highly recommended that you do that. All right, now I'm going to shut up. I hope that these tips and tricks and little bits of advice help you. Obviously, use them at your discretion. You don't have to do what I'm doing, but these were things that worked out great for me. And I would say over the 4 years that we were Disney Pass holders, we probably visited the park over 100 times. And these were tips that came in so handy for us on each and every trip. So I hope that this helps you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please, please, please keep subscribing and sharing this channel with your friends. I'm still desperately trying to reach that $1,000 plateau before D-Day, February 20th. And I believe that together we can do that. I hope this video is of help to you, and have a magical day. I'll be back soon with more stuff. Bye.